Hey folks, welcome to the third hour of American Agenda. I'm Bob Sellers.
And I'm Heather Childers, and we're continuing to follow the breaking news coming out of California. Golf superstar Tiger Woods, the victim of a single vehicle car accident earlier today. These are live pictures from the scene as they continue to investigate what caused this accident to begin with. We can tell you that Tiger was taken to a hospital nearby with injuries to his legs. The investigation continues as to the cause. Joining us now is sports agent Doug Eldridge to talk a little bit more about this as we continue to monitor the live pictures that come in from the accident scene. Doug, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Heather. It's great to talk to you guys.
What are your initial thoughts as you see this and hear the news that this is involving, perhaps the greatest golfer of all time?
Well, my first thought is prayer. First and foremost. You look at the grisly nature of that accident and you think, what a blessing that the good Lord didn't take Tiger's life to begin with. And then obviously you shift to, okay, what are the conditions moving forward? And outside of the health situation and obviously the dramatic nature of the accident itself, when I was watching this footage that you guys were scrolling, I couldn't help but think it's hard to qualify the actual impact that Tiger Woods has had throughout his career. Mm-hmm. Not just on sport, but on American culture itself. Right? Michael Jordan transcended basketball, and in so doing, really made it a global game. But Tiger Woods transcended race, and in so doing, made a once closed, elusive game open and accessible to all. His greatest impact is perhaps not what he did on the golf course, and I don't want to refer to him in the past tense, but what he has done rather on the golf course, but perhaps more so the impact that that's had in communities all across the United States for the last 20 plus years.
So true, so true. And as somebody that plays golf, it was an explosion. Back in the 90s, early 2000s to the mid 2000s when Tiger was in his heyday. And it changed everything in golf. Golf courses opened up all over the country. Mm-hmm. They were full. And then you can kind of track when his career started tailing off a little bit, so did the golf. Now, it also coincided with the Great Recession. I don't want to get into a heavy conversation about that, but there's no question that Tiger and the interest in golf, it's kind of gone along with him. And in fact, I'm sure, Doug, as you can confirm, if you want to watch Tiger on Sunday or track the ratings on a Sunday for golf, just tell me whether Tiger was involved.
Oh, there's no question. You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. It was the Tiger effect, right? That's what everybody called it. I mean, he turned it into a multi-billion-dollar global industry. You can look at Jordan with basketball, Lance with cycling, right? People were jumping on bicycles that had never ridden or hadn't ridden in 30 years. Tiger with golf. It's when you get to that one name category, Michael, Tiger, Lance, among others, you've in so many ways transcended, but it also impacts the bottom line. Tiger Woods is also one of only a handful, roughly a dozen, maybe less, of global athletes that have ever become billionaires in their own right. And Tiger Woods was most certainly one of the first African Americans to ever do so. I believe the second only behind Michael Jordan. Now others are on the precipice of doing so, LeBron among them. But Tiger Woods has blazed a trail and cut a course, cut through the rough. I mean, pick your metaphor. In so many ways, and really laid the map for somebody to follow. But, you talked about when he really burst onto the scene. For me, perhaps one of the most memorable Tiger moments was his Masters in 2019. Mm-hmm. Written off, cast off, thrown away by so many pundits and one-time fans. And here's the old man that comes roaring back. And when he came around that final corner and his son lit out in a dead sprint, and Tiger wrapped up his boy in the same way Tiger's father wrapped him up when he won his first Masters.
Yes.
Some things you can't script. It was a beautiful moment. There wasn't a dry eye in America that day.
Yeah, exactly, because everybody that's followed golf and everybody who's followed Tiger knows the narrative. How many golfers go out there? You know that Tiger was on a talk show when he was a little kid, hitting the putter, hitting it into the, I don't know, it was Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, whatever it was. Then he comes up. I mean, the whole narrative people have followed through. Yeah. And now the sad part, Doug, is he going to be able to compete anytime soon now to win another major?
Well, I mean, it's progression, right? First, you want, maintain his life. You want him to survive. Second of all, you want him to survive with some semblance of living, not just surviving, meaning being in good health. And then from there, the chips will fall where they may. In terms of his legacy, if Tiger never swings another club, competitively or recreationally, his legacy is without question cemented as I would say the greatest of all time. I don't think that's recency bias. We've seen his career play out over 2+ decades. I mean, consistency. He just had his 5th back surgery, by the way,
right,
and was slated to go in for another tweak, if you will. And there's really no tweaks when it comes to back surgeries.
Yeah.
What he has managed to do, and again, I keep referencing the impact that it's had off of the golf course, because we've seen a lot of great athletes in different sports whose accomplishments in some sense are relegated to the confines of the sport itself.
Yeah.
Tiger transcended sports.
Well, hopefully we're going to talk a little bit more about this, because I did want to share, I've been blessed to be able to watch him play golf in person several times, including at the Masters. So we'll talk about a little bit more coming up.
All right, Doug Eldridge, thank you very much.